Okay, going live. All right, so this is Dreadhead Gamer, and this is just a little rant about Star Wars: not the Force Awakens, but the Last Jedi. And I seen the movie not too long ago, a couple of days ago, and I'm just gonna let you know now. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm gonna be letting out some spoilers, and this is a bit of a rant, or matter of fact, this is just getting ready to be a rant, and. I got a guest here with me today, Kogan Dumb.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to really discuss what the hell bothered us about the movie. Don't get me wrong. The movie had like 4 or 5 really standout cool scenes to me. But other than that, goodness gracious, man.
The hyper drive through the shit.
That was, yeah. But we'll get to that in a little bit, though.
I was like, that was
beautiful.
I've never seen that in the movie before. Right. I always wondered what that would look like if something hit something.
Yeah.
That was tight.
Right. But let me go ahead and go first talking about this movie. And let's say...
I'm just going to chime in.
Yeah, you can chime in at any time. But the setup from The Force Awakens, all the setups for this movie to make this movie epic was all tossed out the window. And what I mean by the setups is the mystery between Rey's parents, her origin, Finn, his origin, where did he come from, does he have parents, was he gonna learn the Force or be a Jedi or anything like that. His whole character arc just kind of got thrown out the window. Luke leaving a map behind for people to find him. All for him to not want to be found in The Last Jedi.
He cried the whole movie.
And he cried the whole damn time. And then, good God, the guy that was supposed to be the code breaker in the movie, the one that was supposed to get on the ship and find a way to stop them from tracking them, the code breaker guy, he just gives away the rebels' plans, but nobody told him the plan at all.
He only knew about the tracker.
That's all he knew. And then Luke, good God, Luke, man.
Oh, God.
Why did you ruin such a good character?
Oh, God.
Oh, my, he's the last Jedi.
He should have been, he's the last Jedi, he's the first Jedi. He's damn near the only Jedi. Like, if you say the word Jedi, you think Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
You think Luke Skywalker.
And you think Luke Skywalker as a badass, like he's got like the most untouchable moves out of everybody. There was a lot of, oh my God, and Snoke. We got no origin of Snoke. We did Supreme Leader Snoke. He just kind of like, where did he come from? How did he influence Kylo Ren?
How did his head get so messed up?
How did his head get so damn messed up? Why is he old and decrepit? How did he get so powerful, then get taken out and thrown away so easily? Those guys wearing red, were those the Knights of Ren? Were those the kidnapped Jedi kids from the temple? Who were they, and how were they able to hold their own against 2 people that were Force sensitive?
Yeah.
I mean, they could have just Force choked him or Force pushed him up against a wall or out into space or something.
Yeah. My biggest complaint is just Luke Skywalker.
Oh, man, that is mine, too.
It's like, he's from the 80s. This is a dude that hasn't been on the screen since the 80s.
Since the 80s.
And it's like, you bring him into 2017 just to whine and cry and to force project himself somewhere else, did nothing that was badass. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to be mature and act like, okay, the Force is about having the ability to fight, but the will and the patience not to fight people. And it's like, yo, okay, yeah, that's cool and everything, but we all love Star Wars because of Jedis. Like, we don't go to the movies to see I wonder what's going to happen with the Republic versus the Empire, and who's the new person in charge of the Empire, and what general is flying this ship, and what commander is going to be right here. Like, the only thing that we like to see besides Jedis is like familiar faces of X-Wings fighters from the 80s. You'd be like, people clap like, oh, I remember him from the old movie.
You know, the livest part of Star Wars Rogue One was Darth Vader.
Dog!
We wanted to see a Jedi.
That's the only time you've ever seen him like that.
That's the only time
that he's ever been
and before seeing that scene, the most livest parts of the movie was Danny Young. You know, Ip Man, the blind, when he was blind in the movie.
Yeah.
Those were the livest parts of the movie. I mean, you seen him doing some old Jedi type stuff with a stick, but still,
right?
We want to see Jedi. So,
like, that's what the whole phrase of the movie. Everybody, people that aren't even Jedi, say it to each other. May the Force be with you.
Exactly.
That is what the Force being with you is damn near you being a Jedi. I know you don't say it to somebody in hopes that we'll all become Jedi, but the only person that can have the Force with them and use it is a fucking Jedi.
Is a Jedi.
So it's like, if you base a whole franchise damn near off lightsabers and Jedis, and you're feeling the imagination of kids that want to fucking buy the swords and they want to sword fight with their friends, but when you go to the movie, you don't see none of that shit from the people you should see it from, why am I a fan?
Exactly.
That's the question I have to ask myself now. It's like, okay, you guys are giving me every reason not to be a fan of this shit anymore. Exactly. Every reason.
I'm completely turned off of the franchise now.
Yeah.
And seriously, like, okay, Rian Johnson, he's the one that directed this. I believe his name is Rian Johnson. But J.J. Abrams, he set up this movie to be so epic compared to what happened in Force Awakens. Like, he set up so much mystery around the characters. And I just feel like they just kind of like snuffed out all the mystery and just threw it away. But let's get back on Luke Skywalker, though. Luke Skywalker, man, he handled everything so poorly as a character. Not Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill did a good job portraying him and playing him. He did a good job acting. But as far as the character itself, how are you going to have a Luke Skywalker in Star Wars A New Hope? He's all excited to get out in space, rescue a princess and be a hero, makes new friends, wants to get off that deserted planet, all to end this movie be on a not a deserted island, but be on an island basically in solitude away from people. He was just around kind of like animals and priest aliens or whatever they are, or nuns or whatever those little aliens were.
Yeah, drinking milk out of
nasty seahorse monster,
yeah.
Whatever it was. Then so let's move to Luke on The Empire Strikes Back. He starts training to be a Jedi under Yoda. And he was brash and doing irresponsible wild shit, like not finishing his training and going and fighting Vader and stuff. Like he's trying to get into the fight. He got into the fight to fight Vader so he can rescue so he can rescue Han and Leia, because they was about to get killed. Because he saw it in a vision. Offer in this movie or in the previous movie for Han to get killed. And in this movie, Leia damn near gets killed. Everybody almost gets killed, and Luke don't give a fuck.
So yeah, okay. So Leia floating herself back to the ship. What are we saying when we see this?
The only thing you can say is that
she's Luke's sister, and she should have Jedi gene or cell in her. But what is that implying? Like, can she hold a lightsaber? Because that's all I care about at this point. Can you fight? Can you hold a lightsaber? And if you can, why aren't you? Like, okay,
exactly.
It's like what is the Spider-Man saying? With great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
You're a Jedi.
Right.
And there are mean Jedi bullying good people. You have a freaking responsibility to help people out.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean you have to seduce yourself and become evil, like, oh God, I can't wait to chop off heads with this lightsaber. It's like, no, just do the right thing for people.
In every Star Wars movie, Leia picked up a gun and fought. I can guarantee you this: if Leia knew the Force back in A New Hope and Return of the Jedi and all of that, she would have been front line with a lightsaber fucking people up.
She should have just managed it.
In this movie, she was so passive, and I mean, don't get me wrong, every scene that she was in was great and everything, but she was so very non-Leia. I guess because she's old now.
What's her name in real life?
Carrie Fisher, but she passed away.
R.I.P. to Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Carrie Fisher. She did a good job, but I mean,
I I thought she was gonna die in space like that. I was like, okay, this is a cool way to go ahead and take her out the story. You know, hey,
yeah.
She had her little close up in space, and then she started floating back. I was like, hold on.
And she looked straight up like Mary Poppins too. When she started floating back. I was like, oh, she looks scary out there in space.
Yeah, I was like, why is she doing this? I didn't understand. I just have. My thing is, I'm gonna sound like a broken record right now because there's a lot of things I could say about the movie that I didn't like the planet they went to of all the weapons dealers, and it's like that whole planet was pointless because the only thing that did was just set up the Empire for knowing what the rebels were going to do. So basically, it was just a whole movie of showing the black guy and the Asian girl being a fuck up and fucking everything up for everybody that was on the ships. Like they got nothing accomplished.
And all of their scenes seemed so glossed over with Disney foolishness.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like I was watching an episode of what's a Disney TV show that used to come on back in the day where everybody's just real hyper and stuff. Like
I never watched Disney like that. Whatever.
Like Even Stevens or something like that. Okay. Like you remember Shia LaBeouf and his sister or whatever.
I never watched it.
I love that show. I used to watch it in high school.
I never watched it.
But yeah, it just seemed like Finn and Rose, their scenes were so Disney-ish. It just seemed so, I don't know, man. Like it was so. Come on, it was pointless.
It was like that's the one thing that I think even the most passionate fan of Star Wars, somebody that collects all the memorabilia and somebody that's just really about it, I just think people don't want to admit it. Everybody, the name of the movie is called The Last Jedi.
And we got barely any Jedi
So
action.
we thinking we going to see, it's going to be Jedi action from the start to the finish, regardless if that's realistic for a movie or not. We want Jedi action from the start to the finish. And we didn't get none. And by the time you thought you got some, it's literally Luke Skywalker doing a projection of himself on another planet, in which I don't even understand the mechanics of that now because he gave Leia what was that he gave her?
That like gold chain that was in the Millennium Falcon.
He gave her the gold chain. He kissed her on her forehead, so she felt him there. He had physical things in his hand. And when he was fighting Kylo Ren, it was, it seemed like a real fight happening. But like the only thing that I guess you could suggest that like lets you know that he wasn't there is when they blasted him, they was shooting them cannons at him and stuff, and it's like I thought he hit a new apex. I was like, yo, he's cold.
I thought he had like a Dragon Ball Z barrier around him.
Yeah,
like how they shoot them beams at you in Dragon Ball Z, and then you think you got him, and the smoke clears, and they're just kind of laughing at you. That's how I thought Luke was getting ready to be, which he kind of was, but still, he was just like not there.
Them things was going through his projection.
Yeah, that's all it was. Was.
And then I was like, why? I got started to get heartbroken again because I'm like, why are you gonna let this dude chop you down? Why? Like, what
that's when I was just like, okay, is he about to let him kill him?
I'm like, what's the point of that?
That was like supposed to be a callback to Star Wars: A New Hope when Obi-Wan let Darth Vader kill him and said, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful.
I'm tired of that.
There. Yeah, that's dumb.
It's like, okay, so boom. Let's say like this then. Let's go ahead and go back to that. He'll be more powerful, right?
Yeah.
Where have we seen this power? Never.
You see the power showing that Obi-Wan can just show up whenever he wanted to around Luke. But he didn't do nothing to give him advice.
They don't do nothing.
And this goes back to what I was talking to you earlier about Yoda. Yoda shows up and drops knowledge on Luke. He does it when Luke is already batshit crazy.
It was plastic.
Why
too.
Didn't you visit Luke 20 years earlier and say, hey, bruh, it's gonna be okay? Bruh, it's gonna be alright, man. Look, let's catch this tree on fire because this tree is pointless. There's no need for it. Hey, man, pick up your green lightsaber, join the fight again. Why did come on, man. Yoda just shows up, just shows up randomly. Why? Why did Yoda show up, and why at that point? That's unexplained.
Yeah, why was it plastic Yoda too?
Snoke was wasted and unexplained. Rey was really cheated out of this movie because she did nothing. She didn't get taught nothing. She got taught a little bit. Luke was just like, okay, reach out, and he taught her a little something about the Force, but that was it. That's not like real Jedi training or nothing like that. And then she falls through the island's hairy vagina hole to the dark side. And let me say another thing. A lot of people tried to say that this was not like The Empire Strikes Back. This movie was a lot like The Empire Strikes Back, more than you think. And I'm gonna say this. The Empire Strikes Back had the Battle of Hoth, where it was out in the snow, where you had them walker things, where you needed the tow cables and shit. At the end of the movie, it was damn near the same scene. Empire Strikes Back, Luke goes to visit Yoda so he can get training. He ends up going into that cave where the dark side is and stuff, and trippy stuff starts happening, like he fights Vader, cuts off Vader's head and his face shows. The same thing kind of happens to Rey. She falls down the vagina hole of that island, and weird trippy stuff happens because the presence of the dark side is there. And she kind of didn't really get any like questions answered. It was just kind of like she just went down there. She asked to see her parents, and it was just her face, which was, come on now. The other thing about The Empire Strikes Back, they were getting chased. Han, Leia, Chewie, they was all getting chased in the Millennium Falcon. In The Last Jedi, all the rebels were getting chased. They were getting chased in hyperdrive, getting tracked and everything. They were getting this movie was a lot like The Empire Strikes Back. As much as people don't want to admit it, it was just like The Empire Strikes Back. It was just broken up in different sections. I feel like they mashed up Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back, mashed it up into one movie and just rushed it. But I don't know, man. I really don't have much more to say about this for real.
The hyper speed crash or the hyper drive crash was the best thing about the movie.
Oh man, I agree with you. That was the best thing about the movie.
When it was in silence, and it was just the colors.
Yeah.
And it was they just showed it like that was. I sat back and I was like, whoa. I was like, they need to show that more in space movies. Like that was. She kamikazed the hell out of it.
Yeah, she did, man. And for real, nobody should have been alive. From the impact alone, should have covered so much ground in that ship.
Yeah.
Like, they should have killed everybody. But, for plot purposes, Finn and them stayed alive. I didn't mind so much the Finn versus Captain Phasma fight. It wasn't too bad. Because they tried to shoot her and Blast was just bumping off of her little armor and stuff, though we needed more of her in it.
I mean, I don't know. I was even looking at that, and I'm like, I was just thinking, I was like, who? Now, what's the name of the person Finn was fighting?
Captain Phasma.
Okay, so Phasma is a trained officer of whatever, right?
Must not be that trained if she needs that much armor on.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. So
yeah, I know what you're saying.
So she's trained. She has on the best armor because the stormtrooper can just get shot. It's gonna go through that.
Yeah, he's dying.
Her shit, it had the chrome.
Yeah, it was causing blasts to like ricochet and shit.
Okay, so she got all that, and it's like you still losing. And I know these movies are like the bad have all of the stuff stacked up against the good, but I'm gonna start needing to see some Game of Thrones type action where either these good guys like. The good guys is either gonna fight to win, or they gonna start getting killed off brutally.
How does Finn fight a stormtrooper in The Force Awakens with a lightsaber that can cut through anything, and he loses to this regular stormtrooper?
Yeah.
And then he fights Captain Phasma without a lightsaber, basically using the weapon that he lost to in The Force Awakens, and he beats her. Yeah. And she's advanced trained captain, armor wearing, badass chick, and he beat her.
I walked out of that movie thinking that it was okay, but the more and more I talk about this movie, man, I just realized that it wasn't good, or I just realized I ain't like it.
I guess it's just for the new generation now because I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. I understand that they want to take the movie and take it into a different direction.
Everything sucks now.
But you can't just take and make plot holes You can't turn everything. Okay. Here's one thing that kills me about movies, and this is really overrated, man. Why in every movie is there always this like mystery build up or this mystery hype? Like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like, you remember the movie Prometheus? Like, there was so much hype about who are the engineers and who is this and who is that. And then when that was the Alien Covenant came out, they were just kind of like, first off, killed all of them off in the movie.
I know, right?
Easily, just and they did it in a flashback.
Yeah.
They had all this hype and mystery about who are these people, and then when we finally get the movie out to get some questions answered, they have everybody killed off in a flashback, and that's it.
I'll tell you this though, that was the movie. At the end of that movie, I felt bad for all 2,000 something passengers on that spaceship, because
they about to have alien babies in there.
All of them.
Yeah.
He's gonna use that spaceship as his own laboratory. That robot's getting ready to get medieval on them sleeping people. Oh my! I felt so bad. Like he's gonna do all, like he's gonna plant aliens in them in all parts of their body just to see what happens.
What it does. And if any of them was to wake up and get out of them pies, he's a robot.
Yeah,
they can't physically do anything to him.
Yeah, he can literally overpower you.
Yeah.
He has hydraulic system in his elbows.
They can't outrun him. They can't outfight him. But yeah, we can got off.
You can't outsmart him.
Can't outsmart him. Yeah, but anyways, man, let me get back on Star Wars. Star Wars was a disappointment. It was heartbreaking.
I know, we really almost went off on
that. Man. It was a disappointment. It was heartbreaking, man, and it was. I blame. I know I sound like a fanboy and everything, but there's no excuse for plot holes and false buildup.
Not with this much
content. And there was false advertisement too.
You have
to this
all of
movie.
this content to work with and didn't use none of it.
You remember, like in the trailer of Star Wars, where it's like, and you hear Luke's voice, breathe, feel the fluid.
Did he even say that in the movie?
I think he did. Maybe. Who knows? I was like distraught at that point. Probably. But you have the build up and the false advertisement of Rey is getting good training from this Jedi master, and she's about to try to go on and do her own thing and make a mistake, and he's saying this isn't what it seems. Hell, even another callback to The Empire Strikes Back is Rey leaves the island early when Luke tells her not to leave because it's not going to go the way it seems. It's a callback to Luke on the little Dagobah system planet or whatever, getting ready to leave and fight Vader to save his friends, just like what Rey was getting ready to do, getting ready to confront Kylo Ren so she can save her friends. I mean, come on, man, this movie, come on. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because I don't want to go too much longer into this, man.
Yeah, it's so much you can just say why it's crap. Like,
right.
It's crap.
Thanks a lot for being here and ranting with me, Kogan Dumb. This is Dreadhead Gamer, and we are out of here. Out.
Zoom.